Hello all and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So for today we're going to be talking about the mistakes and blunders that I've committed throughout my years of playing the game. Now BDO has undergone a lot of changes ever since Pearl Abyss partnered up with Professor Utonium to release the Powerpuff Girls. BDO involves a lot of decision making, whether it be going out on a real date or just grinding for silver because there's a drop event going on, or concentrating on your work versus borrowing all day, or just ordering out because you don't have the time to cook because you're gathering for your Valencia meals. So kidding aside, there's a lot of things that you could do that would really affect your progress, also the level of fun you have in the game. So I wanted to go over those items so that you could avoid the pain of experiencing them yourself. The first item on our list is the Pearl items and also the Fugger timepiece. Now, it's like giving the engagement ring to the wrong waifu, and timepiece allows you to transfer your XP and SV plus your weapons to another character, but the weight and the inventory space plus the costume stays. When I first started the game, I wasn't really paying attention much to the Pearl items, so I took a long break and got back and decided to kind of like hardcore it a little bit. Now, when you go to the weight, it does say that it's bound to the characters, but it's not really self-explanatory, as I thought that the characters are the one that are my tunes, which are like the classes that you picked out. And then only to find out that after pouring money into my warrior, which was my character at the time, that the Guardian was a better class because of its assets. So basically this means that you cannot transfer those ones to another character, so you have to buy additional one for them. That's why like these Hercules all-in-ones are released from time to time, because there's some classes that you create, especially for the seasons, that doesn't utilize the ones that you already brought previously. So be careful with this when you're a new player. Make sure that you're committed to your tune or your class before you swipe. Unless of course you're willing to donate that much money to the game. The next one is not knowing about the tax, and this is kind of like being an excellent BDO citizen where you're paying more taxes than the other people because you're that charitable. So this is really common for newer players. They come in, they grind some materials excluding the trash loot because those are vendor items, and then they sell it without having a value pack. So what happens is that they only made 65% of the item value that they sold. Unfortunately, you cannot write this off on the next tax season. So to further avoid this, you have to have your tax evasion value pack so that when you sell an item, let's say a 1000 silver item, minus the 35%, which is 650 plus the 30% collection bonus, it would land you at 845. So basically, just use that formula when going over all of the items. But there's also a tax fame that is added to your collection bonus, and that's a different topic on its own. I've made a video on this one if you want to take a look, and then let's move on to the next one. The third on our list is pushing to the top money per hour activity without the proper gear. Now this is kind of equivalent to using a toothpick to mine diamonds. Now you go into, let's say, a public forum and see the post showing that grass beetle makes 400 million per hour. So you head out there and grind for an hour only to make 9 million and died 90 times. Now you felt like a victim of a multi-level marketing scheme that promised you hundreds and hundreds of silver, but ended up with experience loss, breadcrumbs, and a lot of pain. But going on more on a serious note, look at the class, AP, DP add-ons, the rotations that's being displayed by those guides. Make sure that you meet the certain requirements, kind of like if you're going to Stars End, make sure that you have the proper gear in order for you to fully do our rotations without dying and also comfortably killing mob to mob. The next on our list is selling everything without reading the tooltip first, or even trying to find out what the item is for. And one example of this one are the Cron Stones. So when I returned back then, Cron Stones was just introduced and I saw that there were 200,000 each. So when a streamer jokingly said like, oh, what you do with a Cron Stone, you just vendor them, I did the same thing. And then I found out that they were used for enhancing because I wasn't reading the tooltip. So it was like pawning everything to Rick and Chumley for $20 when this could have been making me millions. So moving forward, it's better to ask questions from your guildies or from your Discord mates on what an item is before you dispose of it or vendor it, so that you will not miss out on any items or any profits that it could have potentially have given you. The last on my list is one thing I've done so many times in the past, and that is trusting in your luck too much or raging or enhancing while drunk. Now, BDO Las Vegas have an overwhelming force that tells you that, hey, this is the moment that you would get your pen, just tap it with 56 stacks, or you would get this new disto, which is a TED that's 18 billion, if you tap it with 77 fail stacks, which is a lucky number. So that one kind of doesn't work if you don't have a backup for it. This would set you back way back in terms of silver. So there's no one way to prevent this one, as it's really tempting to tap. As you can see, there's a lot of players that have insane RNG, and what happens is that they're able to one tap some of their items that you think is gonna apply to you. So my main advice for newer players is have a main set of items that generate you silver. This means that the gear that you got from Season Plus, for example, stays as is, and then you would just purchase off from the market the ones that you would want to enhance. So if you want to increase fail stack, then like for example, you could buy a red nose off of a market and enhance with that one. So you're not doing a negative progression wherein you're enhancing your own gear back to the Stone Age and then later on regretting it, because now your silver output, because of your lower gear now, is giving less silver than before. So those are the biggest blunders and mistakes I believe that I've done in the game, and I really hope that this kind of gave some lessons for newer players on what to avoid and what to look out for moving forward. But guys, at the end of the day, make sure that you are having fun. So even for me, I've told players not to enhance on a bad stack, but occasionally I still enhance at 7 stacks and 77 stacks just for fun, because it's exciting, and I know that I'm gonna lose the item that I'm enhancing, but it's a blast. So just make sure that you're considering that first. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and if this guide has helped you in any way, please do consider subscribing for the growth of the channel, and I will see you guys on the next video.